So in this video, what I'm going to be covering is exercise 5 in booklet 4. And when you first look at this, it looks like it's pretty daunting. You have to make this chair. There's the front view and the rear view. Here's the assembled view, the exploded view, and here are the dimensions of the different parts. Now I'm going to start off just by explaining how we do part 1. Or rather, I'm going to explain to you the different ways that you can approach this, because in SketchUp the nice thing about it is there's a number of different ways that you could approach the problem. So let's look at 2 different ones. Right, so I've made the basic outline, the shape 1000 by 550. I've done it twice because I'm going to show you 2 different methods of achieving the same thing. Now the first one of those I'm going to show you using this one just here. And I've drawn the shape, and I've also got a line here which is 300 from the end, which is this dimension right here. Now they're also both components, so I'm going to focus in really close on here, and you can see what I've also done is I've drawn some small lines right here. And as you know, when you draw lines that enclose a new space on SketchUp, then you actually make that into not one surface, but in this case there are 5 surfaces. So this is 30 in from the end, and that is this distance right here. This middle section is 250 wide, this one right here, and I've got a 30 millimeter distance there at the end as well. So if I use the move tool in SketchUp now, what's going to happen is this. Let me just grab the move tool. I'm going to click on this endpoint, and then I'm going to move directly in that direction. You can see that if I stay on the red axis, and if you have trouble staying on the red axis, you can hold down Shift. I can just move along until I get onto that guideline, and then I know that I've moved 300 in that direction. Now this is not the push-pull tool, this is the move tool. And there I have the first part of my shape. Really easy, right? Now, there's another way you can do this, and that is by a method that you'll probably recognize, or it will probably be more familiar to you. And that is this one. I've again drawn the shape. You can see that it's already a component. I'm going to double click on it so I can edit the component. And you can see also I've drawn a bunch of guidelines. So this intersection here is that 30 millimeter end. This section here in the middle is 250, and then I've got 30 millimeters again at the end. So that's divided up. So the other way I can do this is by taking my pencil tool, snapping there, snapping there, snapping there, and then taking my push-pull tool. And what happens with the push-pull tool if you push-pull through the whole thickness of an object, then you get this kind of sort of strange interference kind of pattern, which means there are 2 surfaces which are trying to occupy the same space. When you see that, what it means is that you can then click and it will all disappear. So, 2 ways of achieving the same thing in SketchUp. Both are equally valid, and it depends on you which one you want to do. So you take the move tool and push in, having drawn some lines on the end, or you draw your shape on the top and then you push-pull through. Up to you which one you use. Now, the other thing we need to do to complete this part is put the hole in it, and you can see it's 250 down from the top, and it's a radius of 125, and you should realize that that's fairly easy. So I'm going to do it only on this one because I think it's pretty clear how to do it. I am going to need to just double check that that's 250 there, and I can use my tape measure tool for that, clicking on that point, and then that intersection. You can see in the bottom right hand corner now it says that it's 250, so I know that's correct. And I'm going to need another guideline in order to make sure that I'm absolutely in the center so I can just move along this edge, and 275 is half of 550, so I know there I'm in the middle. Now, when you're editing a component, you need to first double click on it, and you can see everything else goes grey. That means you're focused only on this. Take my circle tool, click on the intersection of those two guidelines, drag out and type 125, which is my radius. And then, just like I did before, I can push through until it does that. Or the other thing you can do is you can move and then click onto a point that you know is at the right distance. And then if you watch up in the top left corner now, you'll see that that disappears because I've pushed all the way through. Okay, so that's part one done. A number of different ways to do it, up to you which one you use, but please make sure that you're working accurately.